It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. We have Michael Monks, who is in studio. Nice to see you, man.
Glad to be here in Burbank.
Real quickly, cat check. How's the new cat?
Oh, she's great.
Dose.
She's been, this is the first female pet I've ever had. I've only had a male cat. She's the second cat. We named her Dose creatively. Okay. Apparently, girls go in heat.
Oh, yes.
And, we found her on the streets of Skid Row, so she's not had a lot of medical attention until we got our hands on her. And so she's intact, as they say. And when they, let's say, want it, they're noisy. She peed on my couch.
Oh, my God.
She was almost back on the streets of Skid Row last week. It was a little hairy in there for a while. But it has passed. And let me tell you something about Los Angeles.
Right. Okay. Here we go.
You want to do the right thing. You save a cat.
Right.
Okay? It needs to have its, situation resolved. They need to have those, the ovaries. I don't know what they do to these cats. But take it in and get it spayed.
Right.
You can't get an appointment.
Oh, is that right?
There are shelters all over the place. I've done the right thing. I've saved a cat from the street from being breeded by a tomcat and spreading more kittens across the streets.
You did the great thing?
I did the right thing. Right. I'm the good guy in the story.
Right.
So I
not to L.A., though.
Not at all. Yeah. They make it as hard as possible. So you have places that you can go for a lower cost spay, because my vet estimated it at $1,300.
What?
I said, this cat can have all the babies we can fit inside.
My God.
That's not happening.
Wow. $1,300?
Between $900 and $1,300.
Oh, I thought it was like a $45 operation.
No, it's not the 70s.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That's horrible.
But there are city and government adjacent organizations that help the animal shelters, and they provide lower cost.
Right.
Okay, so they'll do it for like $1.40. You can't get an appointment. You can't get in anywhere. I have a request for an appointment for January, and the city offers $30 vouchers. I was like, it doesn't matter about your income or any of that. It's just like, if I'm going to save $30, I'm going to apply for this.
Right.
I couldn't get the voucher because the website does not allow for you to put your apartment number in.
Oh, no.
So it does not read as a valid address.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great, buddy.
It's all a mess.
Can you talk that Dose, maybe push her a little towards lesbianism?
I wish. I don't know how to encourage it.
Yeah, I don't either.
And, I
should be a video on that somehow.
I don't want to Google that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I don't.
It's hard to get another apartment after that.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You don't want that in there. But she's a good kitty because now she's calm again. But this cycle apparently comes back
every month, I think.
Yeah. And they'll be peeing on the couch, screaming at the top of her lungs.
I saw a friend of mine whose dad lives in Encino. Went to visit his dad, and he saw two raccoons humping, and the male was being very rough to the female, and he tried to break that up because he thought, that male is raping that other raccoon. And I had to tell him, in the wild, it's all rape. There's never a movie and a show before the act.
It's violent. And
always.
My boy cat, who has grown to tolerate her and even want to play with her a little bit, he's neutered. So he doesn't have anything to offer her in that regard, but he's curious.
Yeah.
I have a video, and I don't know if I should show it to you since it's a workplace.
Okay.
Because when she was losing her mind and throwing it back, as the kids say, she put her legs on his shoulders.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm going to tell you something. I found this little trollop in Skid Row. She only has her incisors. For some reason, she doesn't have those little cat teeth.
Right.
And she meows like this. She sounds like a crack whore. She was acting like a crack whore.
What a great story.
We were having second thoughts about Dose last week, but now we're back to harmony.
Dose cannot go back to the streets, though. She was feral. Now you've broken her, and now she has to stay with you.
No, she has walked around this loft
years.
Like it's a long life.
Yeah.
She walks around this loft like she has lived in the fashion district her whole life.
Buddy, that is so great. But it's a microcosm of what's wrong with L.A., too. Now, they're trying to get the infrastructure back. What that indicates to me is there's a problem with the infrastructure.
Oh, Timmy.
In L.A.?
Yeah.
What part of L.A.?
Every part.
Get out of here.
In fact, Councilman Ulysses Hernandez described it like this.
Here we go.
It doesn't matter if you represent the Valley, the West Side, or the East Side. When our constituents call our offices, they aren't asking for the moon. They're asking for the basics. They want to know why a tree hasn't been trimmed in 15 years. Why has a streetlight been dark for 6 months? Why is the illegal dumping on their corner still there? Or why the crosswalk to their child's school has faded away? And for too long, as a city, our answer has been, we're doing the best that we can with what we have. But the reality is that we have normalized a system based on scarcity. We have normalized a patchwork approach to public service. We fight fires, we fill individual potholes, and we respond to the loudest complaints. But we rarely get ahead of the curve. We are managing decline rather than managing our infrastructure.
Wow.
So we're basically talking about preventive maintenance, and we've got to get better about that, she's saying. So here's what they've done. They voted today to ask the departments, various departments, to put their heads together and really be honest about what they need to make it better. What do you need for staffing? What do you need for funding? What do you need for equipment? But here's the thing, Tim.
You don't have to tell me, buddy. I was born and raised here, but go ahead.
Do you think in a city the size of Los Angeles that the price tag to fix all of our infrastructure needs is going to come in a way that you could stomach?
Not even close.
Especially when you consider the years of neglect that has transpired here. How many streetlights are out? How many potholes exist? How many neighborhoods are seeing trees and bushes that are overgrown, weeds popping out of the sidewalk, the trash, not to mention the fact that some sidewalks are just completely inaccessible, like where Dos used to roam around Skid Row because of all of the homeless tents and the trash that's associated with that. And this particular council member, who has beaten this drum for a long time, to her credit, but also takes some positions that alienate moderate and conservative voters as it relates to law enforcement. She was one of the votes in favor of this convention center expansion, which is going to cost them billions. At least $100 million a year. Oh, yeah. It's $1 billion project, $2 billion. But because of the way they're financing it over the next 30 years, it is going to cost each fiscal year. They will have to figure out how to pay $200 million that they did not have to pay the year before when they were already threatening to lay off 1,600 employees.
And they're not going to make that up with convention fees. There's no way they're going to reach $200 million.
And that is just for the cost of the convention center debt financing. We're not talking about the potholes yet. We're not talking about the street repairs yet. By the way, the fire department is coming in saying we should probably get some more resources after what happened in January. We already know the police department says it doesn't have enough people. This is a city that needs so much, and there's no more coins in the cushion.
Okay, here, Michael Monks is with us. He's on every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. I used to live in Tarzana, and when we moved to Tarzana, I noticed our sidewalk was buckling and kids were skateboarding over it and falling, and I didn't want that to happen, so I called the city, and they said there's a 50-year wait to fix the sidewalk. 50 years. I said, okay, that's strike one. The second one, I called up and I said, you're charging me for 2 green, 2 black, and 2 blue cans. I only have 1 of each. She said, well, we have you registered for 2 of each. I said, well, I don't have 2 of each. I just moved in. I have 1 of each. And she said, well, we'll send somebody out. They never came. Always charged me for 2, 2, 2. That was strike number 2. The third strike was, and again, I don't like to blame, any one department, but it was the street had trees growing in the middle of it. They weren't just potholes, but trees were growing in the middle. Not planted trees, wild trees.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can you come out and, help us out, just cut these trees down? It never happened. I had to call Dennis Zine personally. I had him in here. He was a council member at the time. And I said, Dennis, look, I'm at my wit's end. I'm going to leave L.A. unless I can get any action done here. 2 days later, they're out there repaving. That's what the old school city council used to do.
Well, that's kind of what Councilwoman Hernandez is saying, is like the people who will complain the loudest or people with connections or influence, you can get some work done.
Right.
But if you're
took a long time.
Just a guy living in the valley or just a guy living in San Pedro, you can't get that kind of attention.
Right.
This seems like a worthy goal because, of course, all of the things that she says is true.
Sure.
But can they make it happen?
No.
Who has any faith? And you've now left the city of LA. You have since left.
And so is Crozier. And
how responsive is your new city?
Bellio. Oh, the new city is a dream. I mean, with the exception of the homeless problem that is tough to deal with, but I guess that's all over the place. We now, if we ever have to call the cops, they're always there within, if it's emergency, they're always there within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's usually 3 or 4 cars that show up. And it's not just because I'm on the radio. It's every neighbor of mine says the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, when the cops show up, they come in and they come in quickly and they solve the situation, but they get there ASAP. They have enough staff. They have great services. Look, the school that my daughter went to, Burroughs High School in the Valley in Burbank, we moved to that house so she could go to that school, and it's rated a 9 out of 10, and that school was free, and it was terrific. And a lot of these schools in the the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles are rated 3 or 4 out of 10, and that's not fair to those kids.
Someday I'm going to sober up, and I'm going to get out of downtown LA.
Okay.
No, I'm kind of hot.
Burbank.
I'm hot on Ventura.
Oh, Ventura's beautiful.
Is that it?
Yeah, Ventura's great.
It's a bad commute though from here to
there. Yeah, but once you have your candy store,
that's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little ice cream shop
You'll be
near
fine.
the beach, a little house above it, and I'll drive down here and do radio with you.
Dream. Dream.
That's the California dream.
Thank you for coming in.
My
and
pleasure.
thank you. You're the only guy keeping LA honest and keeping your foot on their neck.
Appreciate it. Supervisor Barger will be my guest this Saturday night, and we got a lot to talk about.
And again, you're new to LA. It's not just happened in the last 5 or 10 years.
I know.
People have been dragged out of City Hall for a while.
We are aware of that, man, since the 20s.
That's the 20s. They've been dragging guys and gals out of that City Hall in handcuffs.
I don't regret moving here, not even a little.
All right, we're live on KFI. Thanks, Monks, every Saturday night, 7 to 9.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
It is the Conway Show. We have a warming trend coming to Southern California. And I'm going to tell you when it's going to hit. I'm going to tell you how warm it's going to be because a lot of people are weather nuts like I am. So Sunday is when the warm weather comes into Southern California. It'll be 75 degrees in the valley, 78 on Monday, 80 degrees on Tuesday. A week from yesterday, 80 degrees in the San Fernando Valley. Anaheim, for all you nuts out there who love Disneyland, like myself, 80 degrees next Tuesday at Disneyland. How about that? In December, you're at Disneyland, and it's 80 degrees. Huntington Beach, your high next Tuesday, 74. It'll be in the late 60s until Monday, then 73, 74, 70, 68, 67. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. A little cold at night, 47 degrees in Huntington Beach. Sweater weather, perhaps. I don't know. Unless you're fat, then, you don't have to wear a sweater. Do fat people get colder or hotter?
I think generally they retain heat more.
They do? So they don't.
Biology.
They don't need the more layers.
Not as much, I understand.
All right. You know who I read an article. I guess I should have brought it in like a professional would have done. But I read an article that these high-end stores for big people, for big men and big women.
Sure. Big and tall shops
are hurting.
Really?
Not so much the tall, but the wide ones. They're hurting because of Ozempic. Because people who have that money to shop for high-end clothes also have money to get the shot.
Any advancement in science, technology, health, anything as we go through history, there will be losers on one end of it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. It's always what is there's a law, like a rule of I'll have to look that up. But you're right, for every invention there are some past inventions or some past traditions that we will no longer do.
It's making something obsolete.
Yeah. And then in this case, it's the very expensive clothes for big women is going away. A really bad time to open up a tons of fun store. It's really not a good time to do that.
Hi, welcome.
But it's and also, and I said this in jest, but I did some research and I think I'm onto something. When we have the major earthquake, the big one in LA, I think a little bit of the blame can go to Ozempic for the trillions of pounds that we lost here in California. It made the state lighter, and if it's lighter, then the Pacific Rim and the Pacific plates make it easier for them to tuck themselves under the California plate. And so we're going to have, if we do have a big one, I think we can point towards Ozempic. as one of the causes. Let's look into that. I think we should look into that. I think it's a strong possibility. All right, we have more crime in the San Fernando Valley. Another one of these where the kids are trying to kill the parents. What's going on with these kids?
Officials have not yet released the identities of the father and son, but we are learning a little bit more about the family from neighbors here. A domestic dispute turned deadly.
Oh, this is horrible. I've been here 31 years, and we have never had anything like this happen here.
Yeah, I always hear that, Been here 40 years, never had anything like it. Well, you got it now. Pretty heavy.
Neighbor Alexandria Garcia telling us she knew the father and son who lived close by in this home. According to the LAPD, both men got into a fight this morning.
That's usually an older son. It's usually not a 14-year-old. It's usually a 35-year-old. Let's find out how old the son is, but he's usually in his 30s. He's, years and years of very little motivation in life. Dad wants him to go out and maybe get a job, and then then the guns come out, the knives come out in this case, and then it's game on inside the house.
And that the son, the suspect, began stabbing his dad.
Here we go. Yep, the son got a kitchen knife, and he's off to make Dad's life, as George Carlin calls him, life's most interesting guys.
Officers quickly responded to the home.
When the officers arrived, they heard a struggle or a fight inside. They forced entry into the residence. That's when they observed the suspect assaulting the victim, and an officer-involved shooting occurred following that.
Investigators also saying they handled prior family disputes at the home.
Yeah, usually priors before the stabbing begins. Usually out there, 3-4 times a year, then maybe 3-4 times a month. And then the S hits the fan, or the defecation hits the oscillation, I think is what we are legally allowed to say.
But didn't provide details. Garcia said she was aware of the fights there and that the son struggled with mental illness.
And there have been disturbances here.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Same thing. It's just been arguments, but you really don't know where it's coming from or who it is.
Yeah, that's always unnerving and uneasy when you hear loud arguments in your neighborhood, with a family, with a mother and father, brother and sister, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, son and a dad. The son and the dad gets aggressive real quickly, I've noticed. When the son, the 30-year-old son, is arguing with the 50 or 60-year-old dad, that game gets real busy and real messy real quick.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
I think it was Kenyati. Bellio, was it Paul or Kenyati? 2 of the heroes that saved Foosh's life were there last night, and one of them drove home and saw a car fire.
So Kenyati Hubbard.
Yeah, okay.
Kenyati Hubbard. He sends me, he left the White House and he's driving home and he sends me a video on the freeway. God. There is a accident and the car is on fire. And he's like, what are the chances that I leave, seeing Foosh?
Right.
How crazy is that?
I'm beginning to suspect him.
We need to know every time he's on the road and where.
Yeah. Maybe he's a firebug, He just and can become a hero instantly after he sets the cars ablaze.
And he was on the opposite side, on the other side of the freeway, so he couldn't stop and help this one.
Man, I don't know about that. I tell you, last night in talking to both those guys, Paul and Kenyati, those are 2 solid human beings.
Yeah, they are really good men.
They're kind. They're willing to get involved. They're nice. They're private.
They don't
want any attention. We had to drag them down there. But man, they are just 2 very sweet, intelligent guys. And that Kenyati's got a great sense of humor. That guy should do stand-up comedy.
So you're saying there's no chance that either of those 2, if they ever had the opportunity again, would go, nope, did my part, did that once.
No way. They'd both jump in again.
They would.
I pulled over at an accident. And again, I don't want to make this about me, but I'll tell you why.
And had a cheeseburger.
It's stupid. Close. No, the fire department gave me a sticker. I did an awards thing for them, and they gave me a sticker that says LA Fire Department on it. And I put it on the bumper of my car, proud supporter of LAFD. And I was driving I remember exactly where I was. I was on the 101 northbound right near Calabasas, and I saw an accident happen. So I pulled over, and I get out of my car, and a woman starts running to me. She goes, "Oh, thank God, a fireman's here. Thank God, a fireman's here." I'm like, no, baby.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, she goes, my husband is hurt. Can you help him? Oh, that's not me. That's a sticker I got. I was buzzed at an award show, and they gave me a sticker. I'm not your guy.
I gotta stop to see and take a look at what's going on.
I gotta hightail it. Sorry. I hope you're okay.
Maybe you should stop wearing the bomb squad jacket.
I'm gonna stop. Yeah. I gotta take all these stickers off.
Go back to your Home Depot uniform. You get stopped there too. And
I
Target
do. Yeah. People. I got stopped outside in the outdoor area where they have plants and, fencing, barbecues, bricks, outdoor concrete, stuff like that.
You
fertilizer.
seem to know the inventory, so.
I do. I know exactly where it is. So a woman stops me and she says, "Hey, where are the power drills?" And I'm like, "I don't work here, but I know exactly where they are. Follow me." Took her over there.
And you put stuff back there, too.
Oh, I do, yeah. Well, the worst place in the world, and I don't know what it is, there's two places that come to mind. Costco and Walmart have some of the worst, most inconsiderate shoppers around. They'll take something out of the freezer department, and then 3 aisles later, they don't want it. And instead of returning it to the freezer, they put it where the tires are.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Lazy bones.
Yes.
Weedly whoop, weedly whoop.
Yeah. Lazy bones. Don't be lazy bones. Put it back. And so I collect that stuff in my cart and I put it back. And I'm working there. I'm working at Walmart.
You find the roasted chickens with the sweatpants and you return the chicken to where it's...
I don't return hot or cold food. Only bagged food or shelf-stable food. But if I find a chicken at Costco that's near tires, I don't take it back to chicken.
No?
No. Because I don't know how long that thing's been sitting there.
Oh, so you're complaining about the people that leave them there, but that's the one thing that you won't take back.
I will take it to the register, but I won't take it to and return it.
Oh, so you put it in your cart and take it with you up to the register? Hey, somebody left this there?
I'm going to say yes for the air.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. But off the air, I'll tell you exactly what I did. Totally ignore it. But...
Oh, look at that.
That wasn't
right
off the air.
But, I wondered if I'm the only person that thinks this, but there was the freezer department at Costco is way in the back. So if you get Haagen-Dazs, if you buy 148 Haagen-Dazs chocolate, ice cream bars, you got to put them in your cart. You got to get to the front of the store, which is at least 5 minutes with fighting traffic because you got people swimming upstream against you where they know the loop. They know the rules of the loop and they're fighting the loop. And then you got to wait 20 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes in line. And they got to get out of the parking lot, which might be another 20 minutes. So those frozen ice cream bars are 45 minutes from your freezer. How are they going to survive?
I'm always fascinated by the different layouts in the Costco's because some of the one, like the one that's closest to me, it's like the freezer section is much closer to, if you do the loop, to the end of the loop.
Yeah, you're right. They should all be conformed. Yeah. They should all look alike. Like the Ralph's, Ralph's is one of my favorite markets. And I forget if I'm on the Ralph's on Buena Vista or the Ralph's on Alameda, it's backwards. And so I'm like, oh, where am I? Where
totally
am
throws
I?
me off. Yeah.
Oh, where's the water in this one? Oh, okay. Where's the vodka in this one? Where's the beer in this one? Where's the whiskey in this one? Where are the shot glass? Too much.
Your section.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how many times are you in a Costco? You have to remind yourself which Costco you're in because you know what you've hit or what you need to.
Right, and different Costcos have different products.
Yeah.
And so when you go to a new Costco, it feels like you're at a new Disneyland, with new rides. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, we're going to come back and talk about this beautiful dog. I want to give him an entire segment. This beautiful dog named Spike was shot and killed with the Burbank Police Department. It is very sad. And today was a very emotional send-off for that dog. I went by and saw all of the flowers and the treats, the toys, the letters. It's heartbreaking what went on in Burbank with this dog and with any dog in law enforcement. But I had a connection here because I live in Burbank. And so I feel the vibe of Burbank and it's hurting over this dog, especially the kids.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
It is the Conway Show on November 22nd, 2 weeks ago. Officers conducted a traffic stop near the I-5 freeway, the on-ramp there, Buena Vista, and the 5 freeway. And a passenger fled on foot into a nearby residential area. And there was a coordinated search involving helicopters, canine units. And the canine that showed up from Burbank, I think he's one of 2 canine officers. His name is Spike. Located the armed suspect hiding in thick brush. And the suspect opened fire, fatally wounding Spike, the dog, killing him. Even though the canine was wearing a specialized bulletproof vest, which I think they all do. Spike was rushed to the emergency room and did not survive his injuries. And the dog doesn't know what happened. You know, the dog doesn't know why he can't walk or run or eat or where the pain is coming from. They're puzzled as to why they can't move. You know, they're paralyzed when in this case, when Spike got shot. And he didn't deserve this. You know, he's an officer like all the other officers on Burbank Police Department. He's an equally as important as all of these officers. And he was shot and killed. And I went over to see the memorial, and it's really emotional. It's really, really sad. There's a lot of dog beds there. There's treats and toys. There's a beautiful chalk drawing there. I don't remember the woman's name, but I saw her drawing there. And she was there for hours, probably 5 or 6 hours one day, left all her equipment, came back the next day and finished it. There's beautiful flower arrangements there for Spike. And there's a lot of notes from kids. And it's really emotional to see. It really is. That was today in Burbank. They closed down all the streets in front of the police department, which is, I think, in the same building as the fire department, which is across from city services. And Michael Hastings spoke. I have a connection with Michael Hastings. He's in charge of the police, I think, Police Protective League. I'm probably screwing that up. But he raises money to help police officers and their families in Burbank. And my connection with Michael Hastings is that his dad was one of the stars of McHale's Navy. And so I've known him my whole life. And I just recently found out that his mom was my godmother. My whole life, I didn't know that. I didn't know I had a godmother until about 5 years ago. And Michael Hastings does a beautiful job raising money and awareness, never takes a salary, never complains, and is always helping out law enforcement in Burbank. I think if there's any one guy who is a champion of law enforcement in Burbank, it's Michael Hastings. Beautiful man. So let me play this for you. It's very sad to see a dog like this, you know, who obviously absolutely saved a human's life. And they honored this dog, Spike, and rightfully so. This is a beautiful, beautiful animal and a great officer.
Spike is a hero because he gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect his partner and other officers that night. But the department says behind Spike's canine badge was just a good boy who wanted to make his people, especially his partner, proud.
Canine Spike, your watch has ended. Rest now, brave boy.
An emotional tribute to a courageous canine cop.
You gave this community absolutely everything you had, and your legacy will remain with us always.
The city of Burbank honoring Spike, known for his bravery, loyalty, and love. Sky 5 overhead the procession from the Burbank Animal Shelter. The dog's flag-draped body brought into the police department for the last time. A crowd, including officers and their dogs from all over Southern California, stood watch, remembering Spike's actions and impact. The department grateful for the support from those grieving this loss.
And it just shows how tight-knit this community in the city of Burbank is.
On November 22nd, Spike was shot and killed by a suspect running from a traffic stop. The 4-year-old Belgian Malinois spent just under 2 years with the department. The canine was a dependable partner, catching bad guys and going into dangerous situations ahead of others.
He's a good boy.
A bond built on countless hours of training only other handlers can understand.
All of our partners are canine partners with us more than with our own families. So it's very hard when one of us loses one of our partners. It's hard. We send these dogs into places that we wouldn't want to go as a human. And it's just what we live with every day, knowing we may not bring them home.
Spike wasn't just a police canine. He was a beloved member of the family. Burbank's police chief spoke on behalf of Spike's partner, Officer Corey Salas.
His passing has left an unimaginable void in our hearts that can never truly be filled. When you think of Spike, please remember him as the hero that he is. Rest easy, our dear Spikey. You will always be loved and forever missed.
And the department says Spike's service serves as a testament to the dedication, discipline, and heart that define a true police canine. In Burbank, Sarah Welch, KTLA 5 News.
I hope they have a statue eventually for that dog. That would be great. But his handler, the guy that handles Spike, could not show up. I imagine because he was just too emotional. Still emotional over this. And probably will be for a long time. And those handlers might need help getting over something like that. I mean, when you lose your dog, it's a big deal. When you see your dog get shot and killed in front of you, that's even a bigger deal. It's a major loss for Burbank. But I hope they do get maybe a life-size bust or a bronze bust of that dog at the police department. He absolutely deserves it. God bless that dog. It's Conway Show on KFI.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.